What's going on, everybody? Today we got a installation video for you. Today we're going to be installing the Rydewear Helmet Quick Release system. So this is a clasp that is going to replace the need for the use of your D-rings when putting on your helmet. This is something that I've had on my helmet for about 2 years. Held up great, I love it. And so today I'm going to be installing it on my wife's helmet. Tiny Tater. So she still has the D-ring system, and so I'm gonna go ahead and install this on her helmet today. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Overall, it's not a terribly hard installation.
So that was a lie.
There's only one part that's really hard to do, and that's this part over here. Getting this buckle into this loop over here. That is by far the hardest part, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So let's go ahead and separate these out. This little clasp and this clasp over here. So these two parts are going to go onto the strap. So we're just going to pull this off. And then this buckle is just going to go right in here. So I know this is going to take some time, so we're going to speed up the footage and show you what I do to try and get this buckle in through this loop. I highly recommend you get yourself some pliers, some needle nose pliers, just to help get it all together. So close. I don't want to put too much pressure on pulling this apart because then it's going to make the seal too loose. So it's loosening it just enough to be able to slip it on. Leave a comment below if you have an easier way of doing this. I mean, it's not too bad that this is the hardest part because you definitely want it to be secure, but it's also kind of a pain. I also don't know if this is something with the Arai helmets as well, where this is a little bit tighter. I think on my Shoei it wasn't this difficult, so maybe the loop is a little bit tighter on this one. I don't think we have to remove this button because I was able to get it up. I was able to keep the button on mine, but yeah, you can definitely see how much looser it is on my Shoei versus the Arai helmet here. So that explains why it's a little bit more difficult. There's not as much wiggle room. So maybe it is okay if we loosen this up a little bit more as we pull on it. I don't have to be as conservative with how much force I put on there. Still obviously don't want to tear anything.
One eternity later.
I did mention this would be the hardest part of the whole thing, right? But once you get this on, it is all easy. All I can imagine is all the comments saying trying to fit something too big in this hole too small. Try to keep it clean here at Valor Cycle, but you know. Wow, okay, I knew this was going to be the hardest part, but this is significantly harder than mine. On my helmet on this show, it only took me about 5 to 10 minutes to get this on here. Right now I've been going at it for probably about 13 minutes and still haven't gotten it on. Hopefully, I think we're making progress though. Okay, we're making progress. Very slow progress, but progress nonetheless. Starting to think there might not actually be enough room in there with the D-rings. Just slide this in. Yeah, because I'm pulling really hard. You can actually see the materials kind of separating a little bit. So I'm wondering if I actually do need to remove one of the Oh. Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. So I'm wondering if we do actually need to remove one of the D-rings to actually make enough room for this. Which I would rather not do, because that is a very permanent adjustment. And I guess, granted, if you take this off, that's also a permanent adjustment, but, you know. There we go. So now we gotta figure out how to get this part out. There we go. Whew. Finally got that part out. Now, the real question is, did that help us at all? I really hope so. 'Cause if not, that would be very annoying. Yeah, the key problem here is this loop is so tight. Man, maybe I should just taken my Shoei apart and done the video on that one. But some of you might have an Arai helmet, and so this is good for you to know. If you're not willing to go through all this work and really kind of, in a way, irreversibly doing damage to your helmet, then you may want to consider other options. So you can see we're getting there, but it's just really getting that loop loose enough to we can get it all the way through. If this doesn't work, then I'm going to have to get a hacksaw and put that on. But yeah, with how loose this is looking, I might have to do that anyway. So, we'll be right back. I'm gonna go cut this off. I'm not gonna record that part, so, because I have no idea how long that's gonna take and how hard that's gonna be. So let's go cut off one of these D-rings and we'll be back. All right, welcome back. Did a little bit of work, tried a few different things, tried some different experiments to see what would work. Tried using zip ties to try and cinch the loop to see if I could make it a little bit easier. That didn't work. Tried using a bigger screwdriver to stretch the fabric a little bit more. That kind of worked a little bit. Tried applying heat to it to also try and loosen it up a little bit. That didn't quite work. So tried a few different things. So what I ended up doing is actually sanding down the clasp a little bit just to make it a little bit smaller. And that, I think, is going to be what will do it for us. So fingers crossed. So here we're going to go through another. So we're probably going to go through another time loop and see, or a faster speed, to see how quickly this will work. I really hope that I can get this to work, because otherwise I just screwed over a $700 helmet. Because we are past the point of no return with this. All right, here we go. So you can pretty easily see, I just got that first part in. Okay, that seems to work pretty well. Okay, let's try getting this in. Is this going to work on the first try? Well, maybe the 100th try at this point. Oh, did we get it? Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. And that only took How many hours? Okay, the hardest part is done and it is secure. That is not going anywhere. Awesome. All right, so sanding it down helped a little bit. Don't want to sand it too much because you still want it to be pretty secure in there. But yeah, I think this is a good amount. It's not coming out anywhere. Awesome. So now the hard part is done. So now we can move on to the easier parts. Now we just got to take this little clasp off. So we can cut this part off. And that's gone. All right. First, we want to put this through. I'll just move this to the back for now. And then we put this on. One thing you want to make sure is you do not put this on upside down. So as I double check it, okay, good. I did not put this on upside down. So there's a logo on both sides, but if you look at this, there's a curved part and then there is a flat part. You want the curved part to face down. So the flatter part will be what goes underneath your chin. So the rounded part should face towards the ground. So luckily, I did put this in the right way, because that would just be my luck, is to put this in upside down after the fact, and then have to do it all over again. So then we'll just loop this through. Actually, it should be the other way around. This side is far, far easier. So now this can clasp it together. And then all you gotta do for this part is I'll have Tiny Tater actually put this on, and so we can adjust how much slack there should be. It should be pretty taut, but you should be able to stick a finger, still fit a finger through the clasp, so it's not too tight. But once it's all the way through, and you have it secured where you want it to be, so let's just say for example, we have it where we want it to be, you can pull this down a little bit so that way this clasp can go through. Pull that through. And this isn't right. This is upside down. Learn from my mistakes. Take two. All right. So now this should go like this. So flip it over this time. No, I did have it right. Scratch that. I did have it right the first time. So what I thought I did wrong is you can push this up through here as well. So that way it's a little bit more taut. And then, assuming this is the right amount, that's gonna be too loose. So let's tighten this up a little bit more. There we go, that's better. All right, so now it's clasped. This should be good to go. So now all you gotta do when you pull on your helmet, buckle, and you're good to go. Yeah, this is not going anywhere. So, learn from my mistakes. If you have an Arai helmet, be aware that the loop here might be really tight, so it might be extremely difficult to get this buckle in there. And I recommend having the D-rings be on the outside, not the inside, because otherwise when you put this on, you're gonna feel these D-rings right on your jaw. So I recommend have them be outside, so that way when you put on the helmet, so you can flip it upside down and you'll see they're just kind of hanging out on the outside. So they won't, if you put them on the inside, they're gonna be pushing up against you. You should have this foam that might help a little bit, but still, I recommend pushing these to the outside when you put on the buckle. Then when you put on the helmet, you put the clasp on, and you're done. If you need to adjust it, you can adjust it pretty easily. Far, far, far easier. You can do this without your gloves, with your gloves. I can't tell you how many times I've forgotten to buckle it up after I leave, and then I realize, hey, the buckle is still loose, and then I'll quickly pull over, buckle it up, and we're good to go. So, in summary, I highly recommend this clasp. Just be considerate of the type of helmet you have, if you're going to have enough room in the loop, or just be prepared to have to finagle it and sand it down, stretch out the loop, try a bunch of different things to make it work. But something that you may need to consider. It might not just go in on its own with a little bit of work. So you can get this on Amazon for $22. I highly recommend it. It saved me a lot of time and hassle having to go through the D-rings. I can't tell you how many times I've left, have to take off my gloves, put the loop through on the D-rings, strap it, put the gloves back on, and then go ride. So I think that's a common problem that a lot of riders have. So this buckle helps alleviate that problem. So if you like what you saw today, don't forget to hit like, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment below if you have any other ideas how this could have been done easier, or if you have had similar experiences with this. But otherwise, as always, be brave, do good, take care of yourselves, everybody. Have a good one. Peace.